Welcome back. Here with us on Times Now. Viewers, you're watching our continuous coverage of what's happening in the Middle East. That's literally on edge right now. After a joint operation by US and Israel on Iran, what we are seeing is retaliatory strikes by Iran. These strikes started first in parts of Israel, and now they have expanded to other parts of the Middle East as well. Gulf nations are being targeted. Initially, it started as targeting of just the American assets, the air bases, the military bases of America in the Gulf states, but now it has expanded to even civilian areas. We've got dramatic visuals for you from different parts of the Middle East. Earlier, we showed you visuals from Dubai, and now we are getting visuals from Bahrain as well. Iranian drone has hit high-rise building in Bahrain. There has been a drone attack in Bahrain on a building. Take a look at this video that we've got for you, and just look how dramatic these visuals really are. These visuals are now going viral. It was a drone attack, we have learned, that happened on a building in Bahrain. And viewers, what we are witnessing is in the Middle East is having an impact on the air travelers as well, on the aviation sector. Air India, in fact, the Indian carrier has issued a statement saying in a major disruption to international travel, Air India has cancelled around 28 flights to the US, Canada and Europe scheduled for 1st of March. That's tomorrow. The cancellations include key routes like Delhi, London, Mumbai, New York, Delhi, Chicago, Delhi, Toronto, Frankfurt, as well as Paris. The airline, in fact, has said this decision comes as part of its ongoing assessment of the evolving situation in the Middle East, the safety and security of passengers as well as staff members. Air India has assured affected passengers that they are being notified and will be provided with alternative options to minimize inconvenience. Airline is going to monitor the situation closely and will be sharing constant updates as necessary. So it's an important update for the air travelers, in fact, passengers who had their flights booked via Air India for 1st of March. For US, Canada and Europe, several flights have been cancelled. So keep in touch with the airline to get more information. Several routes, in fact, have been affected as well. Let's go back to my guests who continue to be with us at this point in time. Retired Lieutenant General KJS Dillon is live with us. Here are Claire, Burzin Wagmar, and also my colleague Shrinjoy Chaudhary continues to be live with us at this point in time. And now I'd like to focus on this particular aspect because more visuals are now emerging. We showed you visuals from Dubai earlier, now from Bahrain as well. Civilian areas are being targeted. More and more civilian areas are being targeted. There are drone attacks that we are seeing, that are currently taking place. Burzin Wagmar.
Yes, and from what memory serves right of the Manama skyline, that is somewhere near Jufair, which is in eastern Manama, near Mina Salman and where the 5th Fleet is based. And most of the apartments therein are on lease to service personnel and other support personnel on the CENTCOM forces. I just might point out, I'm looking at the building in question. That's number one. What I wanted to come back to was what your Indian military official mentioned is, no, we don't have a Delcy Rodriguez in place to take over in Tehran should the government fall. But the government is not going to fall immediately as such. Please remember when the last revolution in Iran took place, it took a year for the Shah, who was a heavyweight and a Cold War client state of the US to, exit, as it were. This government, too, over half a century has entrenched itself as a military security oligarchy, and it's not going to immediately unravel. That is to be noted, too. There is the question of the opposition that was brought up. The Iranian opposition so far has been disparate, but it is garnering force and momentum with a semblance of unity. And that would be the worst enemy for the regime at large in question. That must be pointed out. It's not just the royalists currently who are up front under the Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi, the last Shah's son. But there is a momentum building of others too. For example, Kurdish militias in Western Iran have also lent voice to Iranian protesters as a moral force. That was announced by 5 Kurdish outfits at the beginning of last week. And I might bring in here also the Jaish al-Adl, the Sunni Baluchi terrorist outfit, according to Iranian officials, who have been creating havoc for the Revolutionary Guards in Iran's southeast Sistan or Balochistan province. They too have thrown in their lot to assist towards this national cause of dismantling the regime. And that will have ramifications for Pakistan, which obviously is engaged in combat with Kabul as we speak, as you know, up north, but also on its southwestern flank with Balochistan, because Pakistan's Balochistan, like Iran's Balochistan, is just as restive, and there will be ramifications for Pakistan to bear out too. So to recap, there is no Delcy Rodriguez or someone else to immediately come into power, but a critical mass of momentum is going to build up at some point, because this is a regime on borrowed time, and that is plain for all to see.
But the question then is,
finally,
is it that moment? Is it that moment of change that you're talking about?
Yes. You have to start at some particular point. You take the Third Reich with Hitler too. I mean, it sounded invincible. Ceausescu's in Romania sounded invincible. And let's come now to recent history. What about Syria under Assad, which was a police state with 15 intelligence agencies and a murderous regime at large since the Baathists took power in 1970? Nobody thought it would cave in. And it lasted a good decade plus of the civil war as Bashar Assad stood in his own people's blood. And then when it happened, things just happened as such, and he went with a flick of a wrist.
Okay.
So it is a paper tiger regime in more ways than one. If the attacks this morning prove to you, as they should, that even after the 12-day June war, they could jets could effortlessly come in and bombard Khamenei's headquarters, the intelligence and interior ministries, and the general staff command headquarters in eastern Tehran. What in God's good name were the Iranians doing between last June and now in not rehabilitating themselves and restoring their capabilities?
Right.
It's a paper tiger regime.
Okay. Shinjoy also wants to come in. Yes, Shinjoy.
The point is that the last amount of fighting that happened must have destroyed Iran's radars and air defense systems. Now, because of that, you see how easily the Americans and also the Israelis came in and hit the targets they wanted. Because otherwise, if the Iranians had had a very strong air defense system, then very clearly it would have been much more difficult. There would have been, some of these missiles would have been shut down or whatever. Think of, let's say, the Yom Kippur War. If 1973, the Egyptians had got themselves a lot of surface-to-air missiles. And then the Israelis at that time were so confident of their air force that they came in and lots and lots of their planes were shot down. Now, this situation is exactly the opposite. Here, the Americans, the Israelis are sending in their missiles, and no system is clearly at hand. No radars, no air defense systems to knock off the missiles that are coming in. So very clearly, there would have been gaps in the air defense system of Iran because of the fighting that happened some time ago when the Americans came in and used their bunker buster missile bombs to destroy nuclear capabilities that Iran had. So at this point, it looks like Iran's air defense system is in tatters.
Okay. Do you agree, Sierra Claire?
I do agree that Iran's air defense system was badly damaged by the 12-day war, yes, and both the U.S. and Israel's targeting of that, we can see clearly that Iran was not able to rebuild it, and the damage that was done was quite severe because they were not able to mount any defense to this current attack.
Okay. Lieutenant General Dillon, now simultaneously we are getting more updates as well. Now Iran has decided to even close the Strait of Hormuz. Now clearly, you know, we are looking at escalation. I don't think Iran is really ready to back down as yet, isn't it? Otherwise it wouldn't have really involved the other Gulf nations into it. It would have really targeted the civilian areas the way it is doing right now.
Closing down of Strait of Hormuz has been all tactics of Iran, starting with the Iran-Iraq war days. And I'll come to Strait of Hormuz a little later. Let me amplify a little bit on point which Sanjay Chaudhary, our good friend, just now made about the air defense. See, the visuals we are getting, the information we are getting, the news we are getting are all from Western media. So we need to take it with a pinch of salt. Air defense system of a nation who is prepared for war, especially the missile warfare, does not go down so easily or in such a short time. Yes, it would have taken some hits. There would have been some voids or the gaps which would be created. But overall network, I would like to believe, would still be in place with few damages or few losses here and there. It takes time to degrade or put it in tatters, as Sanjay was saying. It takes time to degrade any air defense system of a country like Iran who had been preparing for it. So I think we should wait for some time and also take the confirmation which comes from the Iranian side or the actual visuals which are shown to us. Because one odd missile hitting in Tehran or two missiles hitting there and visuals repeatedly being shown on TV screens can actually, color our opinions about it. So I would like to believe the war is still going on. And I think Iran has a lot of capability to defend itself for the time being. After 3 days, situation will change. It will change. Now coming to Strait of Hormuz. Strait of Hormuz is where the energy of the whole world, 20% minimum, flows through every day. Now, if Strait of Hormuz is blocked or mined, there will be accidents, there will be miscalculations, there will be mistaken identities. Certain merchant ships will be sunk, certain warships will be sunk within the Persian Gulf. And that would escalate the situation further. And that's exactly what Iran wants. It wants maximum number of countries to get involved so that people start saying, okay, now let's put an end to this nonsense. Okay. So this is how Iran is hitting all the other countries, and blocking of Strait of Hormuz will create an energy blockade and which will impact the whole world. And that is when people will say, okay, let's sit down and talk and things like that. I think that is the policy Iran is taking as of now.
Do you really think Donald Trump is going to come back on the table for talks? Do you see that happening?
Absolutely not. Donald Trump is very clear. He would go for the declared goal of regime change.
Okay.
As we say in Hindi, Sam, Dam, Dand, Bhed. Everything will be applied, everything, militarily, economically, politically, diplomatically, internal uprising, and the civil war. Everything will be applied to ensure the regime change happens, because at this stage, Donald Trump cannot afford to back out, having declared that this is what he's going to achieve. I think there's too much at stake, politically and within his own country, and of course, militarily.
Do you think he's going to get a little more aggressive going forward? Will be taking help of his new friends also? Because I also heard you say somewhere, Lieutenant General Dillon, that if Trump is really serious about targeting Iran and Iran's military bases specifically, then perhaps Pakistan can really be a big support.
Ma'am, if you look at, as a military man, if you look at the air defense, which Sanjay was talking about, as of today, the complete air defense of Iran is facing southwards or southwesterlywards. That is anything coming from Israel. And its Iranian eastern flank, which is bordering Pakistan and Afghanistan, is absolutely devoid of air defense because he does not see any threat coming from that side. Now, if the air defense has to be compromised of an enemy, then the air defense has to be bifurcated. That means Pakistan's air bases or airspace will be used by America to hit Iran from the eastern side, so that they have to be forced to take out certain assets from the southern side and southwestern side and deploy them on the eastern side, thereby going thin all around. And that is when missiles from Israel or American assets can reach wherever they want to. For that to happen, Pakistan is one country which can be bought with very few dollars, and they will give their air bases or airspace. And if you remember yesterday's statement, a very innocuous statement came from America that America supports Pakistan in its war against Afghanistan. America has never issued a statement like this for any localized conflict between two countries.
Right.
This is the first time that America is saying we support Pakistan or we stand with Pakistan in its war against Afghanistan. Afghanistan, who doesn't have an air force, who doesn't have an organized army, but America is wanting to support Pakistan. This is basically trying to tell Pakistan that I am with you, you be with me. The problem here is, will Pakistan do it? Will the military dictators in Pakistan do it? You know, siding with Israel against a fellow Muslim country or Islamic country. Shia Sunni notwithstanding. So there is a problem in Pakistan, a decision dilemma will happen, but America will ask for airspace, if not the air bases, to hit Iran from the east, to dissipate their divide their air defense assets.
Right. I think it's a very, very interesting point that you have explained to our viewers. And, we'll see whether Trump is going to use that option or not, because we all know he is a businessman eventually who's become the president now, second time for the United States of America. And if he has come out supporting Pakistan in the war against Afghanistan, just hours before targeting Iran, perhaps he has something in his mind. We don't know. But it's a very interesting point you have made, sir. I'm just, requesting you all to please stay on with us. We're getting some more breaking inputs at this point in time because it is a developing story. Things are moving quite fast right now. And the latest update, viewers, we are getting is shuttler PV Sindhu is stranded at Dubai airport. She was on her way to England for England Open. She was on her way to take part in England Open, but she's among those passengers, she's among those lakhs of passengers who are currently stranded at Dubai International Airport because after, Iranian strikes in the Middle East, Dubai International Airport has been shut down. Let me go back to my colleague Srinjoy Chaudhary for more on this. Srinjoy, now, apart from everything else, this is also a cost of this war. This conflict that we are going to see, that we are seeing already. I mean, can the world really afford something like that? In India, of course, it's a big cause of concern. Now, the latest is PV Sindhu. Shuttler is also stranded there. Like her, I'm sure there are many who are stranded there right now.
That's exactly my point. PV Sindhu was going to represent India at the All in England Open Badminton Championships, and she's stuck in Dubai. Now there must be thousands and thousands of others who face the same problem. And this, of course, comes at a huge cost because we don't know when the airport will open.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If we knew that this would be closed for 48 hours or 72 hours, it would be one thing. At this point, nobody knows how long the airport will be closed. So if you're in Dubai, you're stuck in Dubai.
Well, absolutely. More breaking inputs coming in at this point in time. And right, Srinjoy, I'm just interrupting you there. More updates coming in. Death toll from the strike that took place at a school in southern Iran has now risen to 85. This is the latest update coming in. This is what Iranian media, in fact, is reporting right now. 85 people have lost their lives, according to them. And those are the visuals also that we are getting at this point in time. And houses, in fact, have been destroyed as well. And now, it's escalating. It's not really stopping anytime soon. It's been going on for last 8-9 hours, strikes from both the sides. Burzin, Wagmar, now we're seeing casualties in a way coming in from both the sides. Iranian media is reporting that a school was targeted. And earlier we got visuals from Tel Aviv as well, wherein we saw queue of charred buses. And we're also getting visuals from other parts of the Middle East where, again, civilian areas are being targeted.
The place in question, that is Minab, is on the southern littoral of Iran, near Hormuz and Hormuzgan province. It is a geostrategic location near Keshm and Karga Island Terminal and flanking the Persian Gulf, bang opposite the Omani Musandam Peninsula. So yes, something could have gone awry in terms of the school, but there would have been a strategic reasoning for the target to have taken place, which I'm obviously not privy to, but I just wanted to mention that Minab is a strategically located area. It's a tiny hamlet, by the by. It's not a town at all. It's very much just barely a small township hamlet, but it is in a strategic location. The Indian General mentioned about Pakistan being roped in. Yes and no. Yes, because Pakistan is not very pricey to be bought with. I concur on that aspect. But no, because in 2015, Pakistan had the guts to say no to Riyadh and Kuwait when they asked for troops on their southern flank with the Houthi problem. And you know that time
but in
Pakistan earned
things are
brickbats.
different. The
But
equation, the dynamics have really changed. We know what's happening between Saudi and Pakistan and US and Pakistan now.
But I'm explaining that, madam. The point is that that time, Pakistan did not get involved because the Houthis are Zaidi Shias and Pakistan has a voluble 20% Shia population at home. It cannot afford to upset even at the best of times. But then again, Pakistan rocks from one sectarian problem to another. Fat chance Pakistan would want to do this and not just antagonize Iran on its immediate coterminous flank with Saudi Arabia, with it doesn't share a border, but with whom it has Sunni sentiments of fealty and loyalty. But the point is, it would not want to upset its own Shia population by being involved in opening up its airspace, because obviously, and that too during the middle of Ramadan, which is the most sensitive time for a Muslim calendar. So, I mean, I'm not so sure what Pakistan would or wouldn't do. I'm simply laying out the facts for what it's worth, that there is a precedent where Pakistan just once in its 70-plus year history had the guts to say no to Riyadh and not be a puppet, which it did so in 2015 because it weighed up the costs of having Shia problems at home. It would have to do that again this time too.
Okay. We'll leave it there. We'll see what happens. And we are getting more inputs of more strikes in Iran. That's the latest update that we are getting for our viewers. I'd like to thank all my guests for joining us this evening. We'll be tracking the story very, very closely ahead as well. Heading into a very short break. We'll be back with lots more. Don't go anywhere.